Hello everyone, in this episode I'm gonna be creating a memory game in HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So yeah, over here we can play the game. Okay, we found the mountains. Oh, that was kinda loud. So yeah, there's sound effects as well. Okay, we got the egg, dinosaur, and there we go. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, so here we are. Let's create the HTML syntax by creating an exclamation mark and pressing tab. So this way you can create this very easily. I usually don't use this on the short videos because in my opinion they look better when you actually write this all in. But in these videos I thought that I could be using these. Alright, let's name the game as a memory game in JS. Alright, I'm gonna open this with live server. And then here we go. I got it open right over here. So also I gotta link my CSS style sheet. So relationship is style sheet, href it is tozu.css. The reason why they are now named Tozu is because one person was doubting if these videos are actually mine. Okay, so first of all I'm gonna be creating a div element. So div, and this div is gonna get the class called board. Then inside I'm gonna be creating one more div element, and then inside of that there will be 6 different div elements. So div with the class of clone, and inside I'm gonna have 6 div elements with the class of face. Alright, and then I'm gonna copy and paste this so that there's 6 of them. Alright, then I want to get out of the clone div section, and right next to it I'm gonna create a div with the class of overlay and another class hidden. Alright, and make sure you have a space between these. Then I'm gonna create a div with the class of game over, and inside there will be a paragraph saying victory. Alright, and then we will put a button over here with the class of reset. Inside I'm gonna paste an SVG, an icon basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's actually, I'm gonna make a new line. Oh, not that. There we go. SVG XML and S equals there we go. The view box is going to be 0, 0, 1000 and 1000. And I'm gonna put these on separate lines. Then we close this one and create a path element. So here we go. Inside of the path element I'm gonna say that the D is gonna be M. This is actually the part that I'm gonna copy. So the path is always the most complicated one with SVGs. Alright, so here we go. It's pretty long. I'll try to put it on different lines. Okay. And there we go. By the way, I'm actually gonna go ahead and copy the entire path. Here we go. Wonderful. And then I am going ahead to clean the code up. Okay, there we go. So, yep, there's our path and the SVG. By the way, I'm gonna need a closing tag. There we go. Alright, so we got the SVG over here. And after that, I gotta go ahead and exit the... by the way, all of this should be inside of the button. Okay, there we go. So I can exit the button, the div, and the next div. Then I'm gonna make the game sounds. So I'm gonna create an audio tag. The preload is gonna be auto and the class is gonna be audio win. Inside I'm gonna put a couple of source attributes. So the first one is going to be, let me actually go over here. Okay, I think I'm gonna rename this. Okay, here we go. Now these sound effects are a little bit more appropriately named. Okay, we can close the audio file and the explorer, and then the source is gonna be audio folder first and then audio1.mp3. Alright, then I'm gonna give this one a... Actually, I'm not gonna be adding anything in here anymore. So that's gonna be audio 1. Then I'm gonna create the second one. So audio, preload, auto, class is going to be audio, ahaha. There we go. Then source src, that's going to be audio file and sound 2. By the way, for some reason I named the first one audio 1 and the others sound. Interesting. That was something subconscious. Alright. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this until I got all the 7 audio sounds. So I'm gonna be right back. Okay, I got all the audio files over here right now. So from 1 through 7, and they all resemble the memory card picture that we have. So yeah, this is what we have so far. We have the button and a victory. Or actually, is this even a button? Oh yes, it is. Alright, let's go ahead and then we can pretty much go to the CSS, but there's one thing to do. Let's link the script file. So script src, meaning source, equals index.js. There we go. Alright. Then let's go and start creating the CSS. So first I'm gonna import a Google font. So import URL, and then I'm gonna copy the URL. Here we go, and put in quotes and the URL. Alright. Then I'm gonna take the body of the element, align items, center. And by the way, for the CSS part, I could get the browser. Alright, looks much better. Okay, so align items is center. Then I'm gonna set a background image that's gonna be a radial gradient. And it's gonna be a circle for 8 pixels at center. And then the colors, hex values are gonna be 16D, 9E3 and 0%. The second one is going to be 30C, 7EC, 47%. And then the third one is going to be hashtag 46AFE7 at 100%. There we go. So now we got this smooth radial gradient. It's barely even visible, but it is there. Okay. Then display flex. Height will be 100 viewport height units. Then justify content is going to be center. Alright, now we got the with the align items, the justify content and the align items lines, we can use the flex box and center this item, basically the div element. And then let's declare overflow to be hidden and perspective to be 1200 pixels. There we go. Alright, after the body, I'm going to go ahead and take the div element of board right over here. So select a class with a dot and board, brackets, and display is going to be a grid. I need a 4x4 grid. The grid gap is gonna be 20 pixels. Alright. And then I'm gonna have some grid template columns. Repeat. There's going to be 4 on every row and 100 pixels. There we go. Grid template rows. This is gonna get the same values. Repeat for 100 pixels. There we go. I'm actually interested. What if I go to DevTools? Oh yeah, we already got the grid. So when I hover over the div, you can see that we have the grid. Okay, now it's actually showing us the grid. So yeah, these 16 different tiles are going to be the slots that hold our, memory cards. And the 100 pixels means the height and the width. So you can see here, well, on the sides over here it says 100 pixels times 100 pixels. Alright. I'm gonna go back here though and turn it off. It's kind of annoying. Alright. Then I'm gonna continue and there we go. Much better. Now I'm gonna be making the positioning of this div element relative. It's gonna be 20 pixels away from the top. The transform style is gonna be preserve 3D. Transform is gonna be 50 degrees on the x-axis and 22 degrees on the z-axis. Alright, and user select none. Alright, now you can already see that even this text over here and the button, they have already turned. So yeah, the board is now working. Next up, we gotta go ahead and work on the next div, which is the clone. So here we go. Let's take the class clone, and the only thing I'm gonna put inside is display none. There we go. Then we have the cube. So that's going to be so this class is going to be used for the animations. So animation, enter 0.6 seconds, ease out. Then the transform style is going to be preserve 3D, transform is gonna be translate 0 and scale 1, so basically the default values. Then transition, that's gonna be all 0.35 seconds and ease out. Transform origin is gonna be 50% and 50%, and back face visibility is gonna be hidden. There we go. Alright, so yeah, we don't actually have the cube class yet, so we gotta do that in JavaScript. Alright, after that I'm gonna take the and dot flipped. The pointer events are gonna be none. Transform, rotate on the y-axis by 180 degrees, translate z is gonna be 0, and scale is gonna be 1. Alright, transition, all 0.5 seconds, ease out. Then, and dot match it. There we go. Pointer events are gonna be none. Transform is going to be rotate y 180 degrees. Translate z will be 0 and the scale 1. Then animation match 0.65 seconds, ease out. Okay. There we go. I guess that's it for them. Yep. Also, I made one mistake. I wanna have this one and actually here I wanna have the bracket, but this one. There we go. So basically I want this cube class to be having these inside. So I'm gonna give these an indentation, and there we go. Looking good. So now the cube class is kind of holding these inside. There we go. Okay, let's take the face. Next up, the face is gonna be the face, literally. And we're gonna say that the outline is gonna be 1 pixel solid transparent. Backface visibility will be hidden. Box shadow inset 0, 0, 2 pixels, 1 pixels, color FFF 0D2. Alright. Then the height will be 100 pixels. Same goes for the width. Alright. Overflow, hidden, position, absolute, and transform origin. 50% and 50%. There we go. Then I'm gonna go ahead and take the face and use the pseudo class in the hChild. So I'm gonna get the first child of this element. I'm gonna make the background color wheat. so we get that nice light color. Alright, then the cursor is gonna be a pointer when we hover over one of the cards. Of course, we're also going to need the transformation. So on the y-axis 0 degrees and z-axis 10 pixels. And transition for the background is gonna be 0.25 seconds with the ease out animation style. Alright. Then we can take the actually I'm gonna remove this and I'm gonna select the and dot before class. So align items, center, bottom 0, color 93794C. Content is gonna be a question mark. The font family will be the Google Fonts one called Fredoka 1. And cursive font size will be 60 pixels. Justify content center. Left will be 0. Position will be absolute. Then right will be 0 as well as the top. And then one more bracket. Alright. There we go. Let's go ahead and take the face and the child number 2 of that element. And the background color is gonna be darkened wheat by 10%. The width is gonna be 20% and the transformation rotate Y 90 degrees and translate Z 90 degrees. There we go. Let's take the third one, face. Third one, and background color will be Dodger blue. And transform is gonna be 180 degrees on the y-axis and 10 pixels on the z-axis. Then the fourth, so the background color is gonna be darken wheat by 10%. Then the width will be 20 pixels and transform rotate Y 270 degrees and translate Z will be 10 pixels. Alright. And then I'm gonna speed the video up just a little bit. Okay, so I basically created a few more classes. I created all of these. Actually, this one was already created. I created the rest of these, and then the overlay, the hidden and game over ones over here, and then the game over class, the reset class, stuff like that. And now I'm going on to the data tiles. So right now, if I reload the page, it's not gonna look like anything anymore. There wasn't a little animation, but right now there's not, but we're gonna fix that. So the background is going to be this, the URL, that's going to be, actually I put an MP3, I need an SVG. So yeah, be right back. Okay, so I got all the SVGs. I'm gonna create a new folder that's gonna be called SVGs. And then, oh, I created it inside of the audio folder. That was not my supposed to do. And now I'm going to move these. So yeah, we got the SVGs. Alright, now I just gotta go ahead and import the right URL. So I'm gonna go ahead, and the first one, that's going to be, of course, the egg. So yeah, and the path is gonna be svgs and egg.svg. There we go with the first one. And then I'm gonna continue on like this until I reach the last one. The next one is gonna be a dino, and then I'm gonna take the div nth child tree, and background will be, basically they're gonna be almost the same. This one is gonna have a bottom center, no repeat, settings, and also a background size of 85 pixels. Okay. Then I'm gonna go ahead and pretty much copy this, and I just gotta paste the different files in. So I'm gonna be right back, and I'm gonna time-lapse this once again. Okay, so right now I got the SVGs on the page, I mean at least in the CSS file. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, there's a part missing because I accidentally paused the video for a few minutes, I think. So a part is gonna be missing, but in the time lapse you will notice nothing. Anyways, now we can continue on with this all. We don't have a lot of CSS left anymore. We only gotta take the audio tags and not display them in any circumstance. So set the display to be none. And after that, I'm gonna go ahead and create two animations. The first one is gonna be enter. At 0%, we will transform z-axis by -20 pixels and scale 0.3. 50%, it's gonna be positive 20 pixels, scale will be 1.02 or something like that. Then over here translate will be 0 and scale will be 1, the default values. Alright, then I'm gonna go here and keyframes match 0%. That's gonna be a transform of rotate on the y-axis by 180 degrees and translate z minus 15 pixels, 50% transform rotate y 180 and translate z. That's gonna be 10 pixels, 100%. I'm gonna say rotate y is going to be the same, and translate z is gonna be 0 this time. So there we go. All the CSS is now complete. Alright, you know what? We're gonna move on to the JavaScript. So let's go ahead and get some classes. So const board equals document dot query selector. The class name that we're getting is the board clone face overlay and reset. Board clone face overlay reset. Yep. So board, there we go, const clone equals document dot query selector. This is gonna be the clone class. Then overlay, there we go, and then one more, const tile options. So this is going to be an array of different values and options. So basically the options are going to be erupt, ptero, try, ahaha, egg, and dino, and a semicolon at the end, and a comma over here. There we go. There we go. Then we're gonna need an object called state, and let's say selections is gonna be an empty array for now. Board locked false, so we can start playing, and then matches will be 0 originally. Alright, and a semicolon at the end. Oh, I'm missing an equal sign, oh my gosh. Alright, there we go. Then I'm gonna go ahead and create a function, reset game. So there's going to be actually first I'm gonna need an event listener. So reset.add event listener will listen for a click. When that happens, we will do this arrow function. If state.board locked, we will return, and else we will reset game. And for that we are creating the reset game function. Alright. Okay, I need a semicolon over here. and then the function. So state dot board locked will be true. So basically I'm going to take this object and make the values to be default once again. Selections, empty array, matches, 0. There we go. And that's it for the function. Then we are going to take document.querySelector cube. Then we will use the for each method, and after that, actually cube dot for each. All right, and then I'm gonna create an arrow function over here. So tile, there we go, and tile.remove event listener when we click, and then arrow function do this. I don't necessarily need those brackets. So select tile and parentheses because I'm gonna run another function. Okay, and then tile.remove and semicolons. There we go. Then overlay.class list.add, we will add the hidden element. So now the overlay of the game, which is gonna show the game over or the reset button or all that stuff, that's gonna be hidden after we reset the game. Okay. And then also I gotta create a function called createBoard. Alright, and remember to add in the semicolons, or the brackets I mean. Also the semicolons. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's create the function. So function createBoard. So this one is going to be a fairly easy one once again. So createBoard, brackets, curly brackets. So we're gonna declare a few constants. For tiles equals shuffle the array, and I'm gonna take the tile options, and I'm also gonna take the tile options. Alright, so they are gonna get shuffled, all the values. Then const length equals tiles dot length. Okay. Then I need a for loop. So for let I equals 0 when I is smaller than the length. I will increment by 1, and then we will use the set timeout for this. I'm gonna use an arrow function, board dot append child, and let's say build tile and tiles dot pop, brackets over there, a comma, and the index. There we go. A semicolon over here, and then I gotta go here, I gotta input the time. So it's gonna be the index times 100 and a semicolon over here. So basically all of this is the same. Okay. Then I'm gonna go ahead and then exit. Right over here. Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna continue from here. So window, I'm gonna take the window element dot set timeout. I'm gonna need brackets and then an arrow function. So we'll do document.querySelector to select a class. The class is gonna be cube, and I'm gonna use for each tile arrow function. And now I'm gonna need brackets tile.add event listener, listening for a click, and then arrow function once again. We will do select tile. There we go. At the semicolons. And now I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna take the state dot board locked and make it to false. All right. Then I'm gonna put a comma and tiles dot length times 100. All right. So there we go. And then I'm gonna create the function. Function build tile. We have two parameters, option and ID. Then the const tile equals clone node true, and then this dot class list dot remove clone. I don't need the dot. Then this dot class list dot add cube and class list dot actually no, set attribute. So we're gonna set the attribute data tile and option. Here we go, and there we go, and return tile. Okay. Up next, we have to create a function to select a tile. So function select tile. We have an attribute that's gonna be selected tile. Then if the state of the board locked or selected tile dot class list dot contains the class flipped. In that case, we will return. Otherwise, state.boardLocked equals true. So the game keeps on running. Then if state.boardLocked equals actually state.selections. Yep, if state.selections.length are smaller then 1. We're gonna say selected tile dot class list dot add flipped. Once again, a semicolon, and then state dot selections dot push. So let's use the push method to change the property values. So let's take the ID selected tile dot data set dot ID comma tile selected tile dot data set dot tile and element selected tile. There we go. All right, wonderful. But we are not done yet. So let's go ahead and create the final section. So for this one, we will first of all have to exit the function. Actually, no way, we're not gonna exit the final curly bracket. So I'm just gonna continue from here. So if the state dot selections dot length equals 2, then if state let me put a space over there, dot selections at the index of 0 dot tile equals state dot selections index of 1 dot tile, then we will do this. So window dot set time out, and then state dot selections at the index of 1 dot element dot class list dot add matched state selections index 1 element class list add matched. There we go. Okay. So yeah. All right. Then a semicolon over here. But I'm gonna need some more stuff over here. So let's take the state dot board locked equals false, state dot matches equals state dot matches plus 1 if state dot matches is equal to the tile options length property. We will again do a timeout. Set timeout and an arrow function. So overlay dot class list dot remove is gonna be hidden. Then document.query selector. So we gotta play the audio win. If I remember correctly, yep, audio win. That's the class. So yeah. Okay, so if we get the correct tile, we play the audio win. We gotta use the .play method. Okay, and I will put 600 milliseconds right over here. Then state.selections equals an empty array once again. Okay. Then I gotta take the document.query selector. I'm gonna use a template literal for this. So .audio dash dollar and curly brackets. I'm adding a placeholder. I'm gonna take the selected tile, accessing the dataset and the tile, and then play. All right. And I'm gonna say 600 over here as well. Alright, that's it. Then I gotta go ahead and create an else method or clause. Set timeout. I'm using a lot of them. An arrow function and document.query selector all. We're gonna take all the cubes. Dot for each tile, do this. Tile.classlist.remove flipped. That's the first one. Then state dot board locked equals false. And let's say 800 milliseconds. And state.selections equals an empty array once again. Okay. Then we gotta go a little bit more down. Else state.board locked equals false. Okay, and then we can exit this all. Alright, we got one more function. So, function shuffle array. Array is the parameter. And let's create a for loop. So let I equals 0. Actually, this time I equals array.length. And array.length at minus 1. Let's check if I is smaller than 0. And if it is, we will decrement by 1. Let's declare a constant of, I guess, j, because it comes after I. So yeah, let's create a math.random method times index plus 1. Then I gotta enclose this within a math.floor method to floor the number, the decimal number down. Then I'm gonna take the array at the index of I so array I and array at the index of j equals the array at index of j and by the way I need one more over there and one more over there. Okay, so array j and array at the index of I. Alright, semicolon, then we return the shuffled array and we are ready. We gotta just invoke the createBoard function. Okay, and the game is not working yet, so I gotta find out what's going on. Let's see the console. There's nothing. Ah, there it is. Index.js. Okay. Let's see. So there's something wrong with this. I'm gonna take a look. Be right back. Alright, so it's saying that can't read properties of undefined. Reading remove. Okay. So let's go to line 53 and let's remove the dot from the cube. So let's go here and save. Okay. Still can't read them. What about this other one? I'm gonna take an even closer look. Okay, it says that it can't read the properties of the remove method. Let's see if I actually even created the clone class. I do remember creating the cube. Yep, we have the clone and we have the cube as well. So let's use the dots on this one. Alright. After taking a little bit closer look at this function, I realized that these words, they should be called tile. So tile, and there we go. And now everything seems to be working. Except, what do we have now? For each is not a function at 43. Alright, I'm gonna take a look at that. Okay, so this is the part of the code that's not working. I have been thinking about this for a while. And we could go ahead and try to use something else other than the for each. So I guess what we could do, alright, well now these are at least showing, but we still can't click them. I mean, we can click them, but it's not working. So what do we have in the console? Okay, now it can't read these. Alright. Add. Let's see if I actually even created that class. Let's see. Nope, I did not. Whoop-de-doop. Oh yeah, but I just realized I don't need the add class because that's just an JavaScript class list method. But I'm gonna need the flipped and matched classes, and I do have them here, flipped and matched. So yeah, let's see. Wait a moment. Oh yeah. Alright, so the selected tile. Here we say select tile. It should be selected, selected, and selected. There we go. Alright. So let's give this a try. Okay, well, now we can click, but there's no image. Oh my gosh. Okay, those were a match because I can kind of see underneath the images. I'm gonna go to DevTools once again. There's no more errors. Okay, this has to be something to do with the images, so yeah, I'll take another look once again. Okay, I think I'm gonna use the original links. So basically I can delete the SVGs. Delete, bye bye. Alright, that's okay because I'm gonna add the original links from the internet that I downloaded these from. So I'm gonna be right back. Alright, now I got the images. So what do you think is gonna happen? By the way, they are from Amazon AWS. But let's go to the site and let's give it a go. Alright. Okay. No freaking way. There's some kind of errors. Let's see. if the console was to work. It doesn't even work. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Why can't I see my hidden issues? Oh, come on. Um, let's see. Okay, I got no idea what to do right now. Maybe I'm gonna just run this through an AI and see what that will come up with. Alright, I did some research, but I came up with pretty much nothing. So I gave this to ChatGPT. So it says that there might be a problem over here. So instead of this, we should say or add this. I don't know what's the point of removing this and adding, but we'll find out. Then there's, by the way, that's not what we were supposed to do, but tile.remove event listener, click, and then say select tile, and tile dot add event listener, click, select tile. There we go. Okay. And we also have another thing. So let's see. It was somewhere over here. Yep, I guess it is this. State.board locked equals false. Okay, I guess this is gonna be the next one. So instead of saying the for each, that one can stay the same. I'm gonna change this to state.selection selections.for each selection arrow function selection.element.class list.remove flipped. There we go. And we gotta update the select tile function a little bit as well. So this should be correct. But then we remove this one. And also, let's see. I guess I'm gonna recreate this entire function, maybe. I don't know. That's gonna go at least. There we go. I'm gonna pull this back like that. Okay. If state selections length state dot board locked should be true. Okay, there's so much stuff that I'm gonna redo the select tile. So function select tile with the selected tile attribute. Alright. If the state and the board locked property or selected tile dot class list, if the class list of the selected tile contains flipped, we will return out of the function. Okay. Then we will otherwise check for the selected tile class list. I mean, first we add the flipped class, and then we use the push method. So inside of here, ID is gonna be selected tile dot dataset dot ID, tile selected tile dot dataset dot tile, and element will be selected tile, and a semicolon. Yep, that seems to be about right. Yep. Alright. My other screen is in a weird place, so it's hard for me to look at that while I'm writing, so I really don't. Alright, let's go ahead and do the next one. So the next one was the if statement. If state selections and the length is strictly equal to 2. Let's do this. State dot board lock will be true. Then if state dot selections at the index of 0 dot tile equals state selections index of 1 dot tile, we will set timeout, arrow function, state selections dot element dot class list dot add matched. So this is the same thing I already did. There we go. Okay. State dot matches plus plus. Then if the state dot matches is equal to the possible options, so the tile options dot length, then set timeout and overlay dot class list dot remove hidden and document query selector. I'm gonna get the class audio dash win and use the dot play method. Then there's gonna be 600 milliseconds and a semicolon at the end. But we're not done yet, alright? Here I'm gonna write state.selections equals an empty array after finishing the game. Then document query selector template literal, so dot audio dash dollar curly brackets for a placeholder selected tile dot dataset dot tile, and we use the play method state.board locked equals false and 600 milliseconds, so we can't just spam the game. Then we have an else statement, set timeout once again, state selections for each selection. I'm gonna do this selection.element.classList, I think. Yep, that sounds correct. And we are going to remove that. There we go. And state.selections empty array state.boardLocked false and 800 milliseconds semicolon. Okay, well now this should work. Alright, are you ready to give it a try? 'Cause I'm not. Alright. Okay. It's looking like this. However, we still don't have the freaking... We still don't have the, you know, pictures. Okay, one more try. Maybe there's a problem with CSS. So I'm gonna check these out. Alright, you know what guys? Or everyone, I was actually finally able to get the game working. But there's just a small issue that it looks like this. But that's okay, this is good enough. So I'm gonna zoom in. There we go, U1. Let's play again. Turn your volume down a little bit. Or I don't know. Actually, I don't have my volume on. I'm gonna put it on for just a little while. It shouldn't be too high right now, but... Well, I gave you a warning. Alright. Oh no. There we go. Alright.
Scratch. Rawr.
Alright. Wonderful. So yeah, we got the game working, at least somehow. But yeah, it took some time, definitely. Anyways, I hope you can recreate this same project And I hope that you were able to learn something new from this one. And yeah, I hope that I'm gonna see you in the next one. So yep, if you enjoy these kinds of videos, please leave a like down below. That will definitely help me and I can keep creating more of these. So yeah, but without further ado, I'm gonna see you in the next episode. And yep, bye bye everyone, and have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye bye.